So I'm going to start recording this now. I've only got 5 letters, or I only have time for 5 because it's 9 o'clock, well, just after 9 on Sunday, and I've got better things to be doing. But this coming week, I'm not going to have a lot of time for this, not till at least Thursday. Well, I don't know, Wednesday, but certainly tomorrow and Tuesday, not going to have time. I've got too many lessons and classes. So without further ado, let's do a screen share. Okay, I'll put that on there, turn that on. Put the chat box on, and if you've got any questions, you can raise your hand and we'll see. So you don't need to see me. I'll turn my camera off and let's get down to business. So let me make this bigger, save the changes. Okay, I had a quick look at this before. So we've got a 5-year-old boy. And what do we have to do at first? Right, a letter of referral. Okay. Paediatrician, oh dear. Renal failure and nephritis. Sounds a bit serious. So what has happened here? So he's a patient, presumably we know him, because if he's 5, he's probably been in for something. So let's see, he came in a few years back. What's today's date? Oh, all right, well, it's still the 10th. So, sore throat, husky voice, tonsillitis, brown urine. Okay, so let's get underway. So, dear Dr. Goldman, R.E. Jamie Brown, aged 5. I'm writing to request for evaluation and management of Jamie, who demonstrates feature consistent acute renal failure. Okay, that's a good introduction. Well, you know, you can say that, but it should be obvious. Complaining of signs. What's this? Signs and symptoms. Bacteria, tonsillitis, which penicillin. Well, I would have said 250 milligrams of penicillin was prescribed. 2 days later. Now, why is this a passive? He was reported. Now, okay, because he's a kid, presumably he's not reporting anything. So his mother, sorry, presumably his mother reported this or complained about this, yeah? So his mother reported he had, now, another thing, I would always, instead of putting a number, I would write it out, because it's supposed to be a letter form, right? So I wouldn't, you know, just put 4 as a number. I would put it as a word. So his mother reported, that's better, I think, that he had, or yeah. 2 days later, his mother reported he had a 4-day history, or over the previous 4 days he had been, etc. Okay. However, there was no dysuria, frequency, or history recent injury, or recent injury. Why would you say that? Okay. Examination is blood pressure. Okay. Consequently, urine investigations and blood tests were requested. Okay, that's good so far. Although Jamie was asymptomatic, he, get your pronouns, possessive, his blood pressure on persistent, his investigations results. Well, you don't need to make that a possessive. You could just say his investigation results, or simply his results, or his test results. There's no need for investigations possessive. Okay, so furthermore, I would simply say his test results revealed considerable increase. OTITA. Is that a medical term? OTITA. Okay. On forward book tells my patient on that. In view of the above, I would be grateful if you could take over Jamie's. Now, this would be a possessive. For follow-up care. So what's it want you to do exactly? So again, referral to paediatrician. Okay, yeah. So you can say that. You could take over Jamie's follow-up care. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Just have a look at the word counts. Let's have a look. 183. Now that's including, right, so if we include all of it, it's 189. So it is a little bit short. So you need to put another paragraph in. We need something else in this letter, 189 words, and that's including the greeting, the reference, the closing, so that's too short. So what else could we include? What else have we got? What's this? Brown urine, tired, lethargic. Okay. What do you say here? Let me scroll back and forth. Urine, increasing fatigability. Okay. So I would maybe put a paragraph in a little bit more about his previous history. So because 189 words, and that's including the greeting, the reference, the closing, that's a little bit short. Okay, refer Jamie. For investigation and treatment. You can do this, but again, I don't know why you break it up. You could simply, put it in the first part of a sentence. That's what I would be tempted to do. I'm writing this letter to refer Jamie for further investigation and treatment, and then you've got a nice relative clause whose features are suggestive. So don't forget to put your capitals. Jamie experienced tonsillitis associated with fever, so she was prescribed penicillin to manage. Well, we don't need that. Just prescribed penicillin. Okay, 1 month later, Jamie's mother noticed that his urine turned brown, or had turned brown. I'll maybe probably make it past perfect, because she noticed. So when you've got two past events, usually one in the simple past, we usually need past perfect. So we know which past action occurred first. So his urine had turned brown, and she noticed this. So simple past, past perfect. Moreover, he was tired and lethargic. However, there was no history of trauma. Capitals. On examination was noted, blood pressure was normal. Thus, he was advised to drink plenty of fluids, and routine investigations were requested. Okay. On review visit, capitals. Well, the patient was asymptomatic. Blood pressure, or his blood pressure, was elevated. Additionally, microscopic hematuria was confirmed. Is that a plural? If so, then there should be were confirmed. Based on what was mentioned. What was mentioned, that's not phrased very well at all. based on the above, you could say. Above, or in view of the above, you could use that, but not what was mentioned. Or another one, you could say, with this in mind. There's several ways, but what was mentioned, no, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't work. I'm referring Jamie into your care for expert evaluation to his kidney functions. Really? Well, you don't have to say that, you know, and we know he's an expert. So I would just say, based on the above, I'm referring Jamie into your care for your management, evaluation, etc. Okay. Shall any queries? You mean should there be any queries, or if you have? So should there be, or should you have, or if you have, etc. Okay, but not shall. Please not hesitate to contact me. Right, now this looks a little bit longer, so I'm going to check the word count and see what we've got. 200. Okay, and that's including the greeting and the closing. So that would do fine. That would do fine. Do fine. Okay, what else have we got? Writing to request your further assessment management of Jamie, whose features are consistent. Okay, that's good. Jamie presented with classical features of tonsillitis, therefore cause of its own. No, that's good. Excellent grammar. Okay. Jamie's mum. Mum's a bit informal. You know, I would probably make it a mother. Reported that she had noticed. Reported. So you see, you've got your simple past and then past perfect. This is how past perfect works. That's pretty good. So for those of you who keep on asking past perfect, this is how it works. You've got a simple past action and a second past action. We want to know the sequence. So she noticed it first and she reported it later. Okay, I mean, I would have probably noted, I mean, if you compare this, right? Compare this to the previous one, yeah. So she noticed that his urine had turned. Okay, that's good. And reported, yeah. So you can see the structure. It's basically what it's saying. Your simple past and your past perfect. She had noticed a brown discoloration of his urine 4 days back. Well, I would probably say 4 days ago instead of back. And he is, she noticed, and it's going back, and he's tired and lethargic. Well, he is. Why are we using the simple present here? Why isn't it the simple past? He was tired and lethargic. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. Since, right. So if, right, now, because you've got this adverb or this adverbial here, since then, we have to change it. And he is tired and, right, so it would have to be he has been. We would have to make it present perfect. I didn't see that. Because you've got this adverbial, we have to make it present perfect. So, and he has been tired and lethargic since then. Right. So, apart from large tonsils and the blood pressure, blood pressure, I don't know if we would say A. I mean, if it was a blood pressure reading, you could make it accountable, but we don't need singular pronoun here. So you could just say, and blood pressure reading of 90/60, rest of the examinations, the rest of the examinations or examination were unremarkable. Hence a full set of the blood test. Well, as again, it's not a particular test, is it? Hence a full set of blood tests were ordered, because it's not just one, is it? Because you say a full set. So a full set implies to me that there's more than one. If there's more than one, it's blood tests. If it's blood tests, there should be were. As well as an increase in fluid intake was, right. You're mixing things up here. So the full set of blood tests were ordered and the review. So I would put, so the blood tests were ordered and a review appointment was scheduled in 2 days' time. I would put the advice about a fluid intake in the sentence before or afterwards, or put it at the end of this, because it's jumping about, you know. Well ordered, as well as an increase in fluid intake was advised, review appointment, because that's quite a long sentence. Quite a long sentence. Okay, and review today. Jamie showed no symptoms of disability or injury. Jargon. There's quite a lot of this. Quite a lot of this jargon here. Okay. In view of the above. Oh, now you see. In view of the above. That's a good phrase. Like, based on the above, in view of the above. Okay, that's a good phrase. I would value your further evaluation and management of Jamie, which would definitely, would it? Would it? There's no need for all this stuff. He's going to do it anyway, because that's what he gets paid for. That's his job, right? So you don't have to, oh, please, doctor, I would value I would greatly appreciate. You don't need that, you know, because he's going to do it anyway. Management. And we don't really need this phrase. I don't know of anybody who would actually write this. Yeah. I mean, I don't think the specialist needs convincing that he really should evaluate young Master Jamie. I don't think he really needs convincing. So we don't really need this. Not as such. Okay, so apart from that, not too bad. Let's have a look. Let me have a look. How many? 229. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. There's quite a lot of jargon in there. I don't know if we would include all that. You could probably cut that paragraph down, but still, that's not too bad. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Keep for seeing Jamie. Can the picture test? Okay, yeah. Okay, that's good. He was brought in by his mother. Well, I suppose you could include it, even though it's kind of obvious from the context, you know, but still. Complaints, escalation, urine fatigue, fast 4 days. Good. Examination. Why is coma in brackets? Is it comma? Did you copy this from Joseph's changes? Why does it say coma? It was hypertensive. Your analysis show. I advised who? Who did you advise? So make it clear who's doing what. And have a review and well, you're not advising her to have a review, you're asking her to come back in 2 days' time. Yeah. And to return, I advise her to increase her egg and arranged for her to return or arranged or scheduled a review in 2 days, something such as that, yeah, because she's not having a review. I advise you to have a review. You wouldn't say that. You would say, don't forget, increases intake of fluids, come back in 2 days' time. You wouldn't advise her. You would, you would actually say, come back in 2 days' time. It's not a negotiation. You know, you would be telling her. You know, advise her to increase fluid intake and told her to come back, etc. in 2 days' time. Yeah. So I would, change that. Moreover, A for blood count, if it's a singular for blood count, histogram were ordered. These, I presume, these are tests, because urea, it's a noun, and creatinine is a noun. So I presume these are some kind of examinations or tests So you need to say what they are, because that's just a noun. Yeah, were ordered. On today's review, well, his condition had not improved. Present perfect, connecting the past to the present. Present perfect. His condition had not improved. Not did not improve. Because he came back after 2 days. So we can't use present simple. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, his condition had not improved. Okay. In light of the above, very good. No need for a comma after and, because we're using and as a conjunction. Don't need a comma. I believe he should consult the paediatrician, but the paediatrician, that's who you're writing to, isn't it? Isn't the person you're writing to the paediatrician? Yeah, so why would you say that? You wouldn't. In light of the above, I'm a prison analysis, and I would appreciate, yes, so we don't need that. Just, I would appreciate it. Don't forget your dummy subject. If you could evaluate and manage the patient as you feel appropriate. Okay. Who's writing on the screen? Who's drawing on the screen? No need for that. So 186. So that's a little bit short. Little bit short. You'll be aiming for about 200. Yeah. So I would try and add all you need is to add a sentence, you know, a sentence, maybe 2 at the most, and that would take it up to about 200 words, and that would be fine. Okay. So now, where's the eraser? Get rid of that. Okay. Jeremy Brown, I'm writing to request. Who's drawing on the screen? Can you pack it in? Right, thanks. Right, I'm writing to request your urgent assessment and management for Jamie, 5-year-old boy. Okay, whose features are consistent. Okay, yeah, good. If you don't have it, the DOB or the age in the reference line, you can have it there. That's good. Good, clear introduction. Okay. Jamie presents to my clinic suffering from sore throat and fever in association with other features. Suggested tonsillitis results. Was given penicillin V for 7 days. Now, I don't know, that's kind of a short sentence. Now, you could have said, you could have connected this to the previous one. Some features that suggested tonsillitis for which he was prescribed penicillin. Yeah, so I would have put that into the previous sentence, for which he was prescribed. Something such as that. What am I doing? Sorry, should be get rid of that. Yeah, for which he was prescribed. Okay, very good. So I would break this up, make that a separate paragraph. So on his next visit, 3 weeks later, his mother noticed brown discoloration in her son's urine for 4 days duration. His mother noticed, right, so it would be had noticed brown discoloration or report, or you could make it simple past, his mother reported noticing, because it was an activity going on for 4 days. Yeah. So you could either say had noticed or reported noticing. a brown discoloration or brown discoloration in the son's urine for 4 days. We don't need to say 4 days duration, just simply for 4 days. In addition to increased fatigability, however, there was no history of dysuria or trauma. An examination showed tonsillar hypertrophy. Okay. Consequently, rest was advised, and blood and urine tests were requested pending for review 2 days later. Shouldn't you put something in about advising the fluid intake? Didn't it say something about that in the notes? Advising to increase the intake of fluid? I thought it said something like that. Okay, on review today, Joe's condition showed no improvement, and his blood pressure was increased to 10/90. Urine results show, which confirmed my diagnosis of post-streptococcal nephritis. I'm referring Jim to under your care, its evaluation and management. Again, you know, you don't really need to say that. I mean, because presumably he's an expert, so you don't have to say, oh, can you expertly evaluate him? Just evaluate him. Expert evaluation and management. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's have a look. Let me check the word count and see what we've got. 225, including all that. The closing, etc. That's not too bad. Not bad. So you've got to watch your word count. Got to watch your word count. A couple of these letters are a bit short, a little bit under length. Yeah, so I'd work on that. Okay, that's not bad. Not so bad. So I'll save these files and I'll put them in Easy Class in the library, so you can download them and access them at any time. Now, we've got a bit of time left. I don't know how much time, a little bit. Does anybody have any questions? I'll turn your microphone on. Ismail.
Hello, Mr. Kevin. Thanks a lot for what you are, for your help. I have a comment on the spelling mistake, the antistreptolysin O-teter. It's T-I-T-E-R, not double T-E-R.
Oh, right. Okay, thanks for that. I don't know how that is spelt, so I'll take that advisement. Do you have any other questions about anything? No? Okay. Well, so somebody else has got their hand up. Thanks for that. Anyway, thanks for that correction. Helen?
Hello, Kevin. Thank you very much again for this great session. Just I would like to ask about the past perfect. What I understood that the second paragraph, as it is connecting the first paragraph, and so it should be mostly depend, of course, on the if I'm using something like a go or for, but it usually should be in past perfect, right?
What particular sentence are you talking about? I mean, it's right. It all depends on context, all right? So usually past perfect is when you've got two past events and you want to show which past event finished at first. Yeah. In that other one of those letters, I'm not sure which, it was something like she noticed that he had something. I don't, was it continued or something? I don't know. So that would be a good usage of past perfect when you've got two actions. So he had I can't really remember which it was now, but anyway. So we had the simple past and we had the second past action, and we wanted to show which was completed first. So that's when you use the past perfect. Really. There's several, and again, it depends on the context. We were talking about this a few days back, and one of the letters in the paragraph at the beginning the time was established. So the context of the rest of the paragraph, I did make a comment on it on the previous video. I can't remember which letter it was now, but the time was established. So we could use past perfect in that instance. So it's like these past tense verbs are not that hard really, but it all depends on context. If the timeline is already established, if we know when in the sentence before, then that changes it. So I'll probably do a seminar or make a video on the uses of past perfect in the different perfect, past tense forms this coming week, because I can see that people are still having some trouble with these.
Yeah, thank you very much. That because we are confused about if we are going to say like after 2 days. So as you said, this maybe a known date. So if we use past perfect, it's accepted.
Well, yeah, because after 2 days, that's a reference to a like past event 2 days ago. So there's a reference there. So after 2 days, he had continued, or so it depends again on the context.
Yeah,
what we'll have to do is we'll have to go through all these different verb forms and try and show some examples of how they can be used. But the first video I'm going to make this coming week is on parallel structures. A couple of people were asking me, how does that work exactly? So that's the first thing I'm going to be doing later this week. Don't know, Wednesday.
Thank you, because I think that we are repeating the same mistake every time, but this is not intentionally, So we want to know the rules so that we avoid it in our next letters,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's okay. Right. See, what else we've got? Is it Del? Hang on. Okay, Del.
Hello, I'm Dr. Shilpa. First of all, congratulations and well done, Mr. Kevin. You are doing a great job for all of us. I don't have any complaint. I just want to know, is there any alternate to people, candidates like me who are 5 or 6 hours ahead of the GMT? So by the time I see group messages early in the morning, people like me are long back in the list. So we never get chance to get our letter corrected. So is there any alternate?
Well, it's not intentional, But
I understand. And that's why I don't have any complaint. I just have any request.
It's just like, a lot of you are scattered all over in the world. So there's different time. So there's going to be differences in time zones, and
yes.
I'm in Central European time now, so it's 9:39 a.m. for me. Now, it depends on what free time I actually have available. It's like we had a session.
Yeah, that's true. But whenever we post our letter on the group, it would be in chronology. So sometimes people like me gets back in the list, and so never get chance to be corrected.
Oh well, I just I don't compile these. If you want,
I don't have any complaint. I'm sorry to tell you.
To blame Joseph. Joseph is guilty. Go and blame Joseph. No, seriously, Joseph collects them all and sends them to me. So I don't know the order.
No, it's okay. I'm just asking any alternate. So how can we get corrected?
I don't know. We'll get old Joseph and we'll.
It's okay.
We can maybe ask him to do it in a slightly different way, or maybe write letters. Right. So I'm not going to be free now.
No. Actually, both of you are doing a great job, and it's. I understand that it's not easy to make.
I'll see what we can do. Right. Listen. I'll tell you what. Right. I'm not going to be free now until on Wednesday because tomorrow and Tuesday don't have any time. So if Joseph sets a task now,
he's also doing a very great job. So I don't have any complaint, or I don't have any against anybody.
Instead of having it for the previous day or the day after, we'll set the next one for on Wednesday, right? That'll give people 2 whole days, well, today, tomorrow, and Tuesday to complete the task. Then we can see, you know, we can make a compilation of people who have not been assessed as yet. Okay, so we will try that. Okay, I'll have a word with Joseph later on, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so
sure, thank you. Please don't take it another way around. Please, I don't have any complaint. I'm just want to know if there is any alternate.
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll, as I say, we'll have a chat about it, and we'll see what we can do.
Sure. Okay. Please take it.
That's okay. Right, sorry, I've got a couple more people. Asma?
Yes. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for your pre-correction. I have a question regarding allergy and family history. For example, the doctor, we need to know about the allergy and family history if patient does not have it or if patient have it. So in both cases, we as a doctor, we need to know. I've seen your so many correction letter in which you said if a patient has unremarkable allergy, you said you don't need to write it. So I'm confused here.
Well, the examiners, they purposely put irrelevant information in as a trap. They hope that people will include it. One of the skills of writing a letter is to synthesize, evaluate what exactly is important and what is not, or what is pertinent but can be moved farther down in the letter. Mm-hmm. Okay, so some of the I've seen a couple of a lot of letters where people have basically included all kinds of stuff. They've put in about, you know, the patient's dog died last week and he's got a cousin who's got asthma, all kinds of stuff that's not pertinent. Now the examiners put extra information in on purpose, right? Okay. To try to confuse people. So all I'm saying is that, you know, if you put yourself, and of course every task is different on purpose, because what they don't want are people, oh, I'm just having a look, we're almost out of time. This will probably turn itself off in a couple of seconds. So